Okay, so welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a good weekend. So today we are going to start setting up our grid. So hopefully have already completed your project where you gathered all of your fun labels from around the house, cut them into little squares, and glued them to the grid that I provided. So as you can see some of the things that like the Salatino has constantly apparently just a lot of sugar as I'm looking at it. So, Skittles and Tootsie Pops and soda once in a while. Like I do like it's a rare occasion, but soda once in a while. I love Gatorade. We put butter on everything in my household. Yeah, we don't eat the healthiest, but we got some Cheerios in here. Um, Gotta have my coffee and Cheerios and light ice cream. I love my ice cream, but I always try to do it in small portions, and I try to be good about eating um, somewhat healthy or not always eating the really, really bad stuff for you. Okay, so as you can see, you can kind of get a little glimpse of Miss Salatino's personality based off of my grid here. So I am not the healthiest person in the world, but you know what? That's okay because I work out and make up for it in other ways. All right, so a little bit less about that and more about setting up your grid. So you are going to need a ruler, you are going to need a pencil, and the first thing we are going to do is we're going to lay that ruler down and we're going to go straight across our illustration board, and I am going to mark out every 2 inches very lightly. This is not meant to be dark, so every 2 inches, and I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom. 2 inches. I'm going to do the sides. Every 2 inches, nice and light. Now once we have these all marked out, we are then going to take our ruler or our straight edge and we are going to lightly connect them using our pencil. So our grid is not going to equally match up with this grid. This grid is slightly bigger because I really want to practice that skill of replicating and enlarging our drawings. So as you can see, it's a little bit bigger. These, I believe, if I remember correctly, are 1.5 inches, and these are 2-inch boxes. So just slightly bigger. So we just finished up doing our superhero grid. The reason that I had you guys do that was to get you guys ready for this. So everything has a reason and a purpose. So now what we are going to start to do is we're going to start to sketch in our design here. So just like our Harry Potter grid, we're going to have the grid match and correspond with the box. Now when you start to do this, I want you to not look at the text as just letters. So what I mean by that is I shouldn't see, with the Dr. Pepper, I shouldn't see you just writing Dr. Pep. No, like that is not what we are doing. What I want you to do is not see this as just writing. I am expecting you to actually look at these as a drawing and as a shape, as a picture almost. So I really want you to take the time to go and create the text. So I'm going to start up here with my Cheerios sign. So I noticed that, just a little bit of the corner of the white is showing. And I'm going to also pay attention to that negative space to really try to make sure that I'm accurately recreating this text. Okay, so I'm coming a little too far with that R. So I'm going to back it up a smidge. It's going to come up. And I really am trying to my best to recreate that text as a shape or as a picture. And feel free, use your ruler. I really actually should be myself, even though I I do consider myself a pro. I really should be using like a straight edge to make sure that these, lines are nice and straight. Okay, so it should come to about here. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it a little bit. So my Cheerio up here, it's not a perfect circle because it's kind of a Cheerio. So the inside there is kind of not a perfect O again. So like I said, we really should be taking their time and trying to replicate this to your best of your ability. So I'm paying attention, like, oh, look how close that I comes to that R. It kind of goes up at an angle a smidge. It almost kind of reminds me of like the number, like a bubble letter or a Jersey 1. That comes on down. And you're not always going to get it right the first time. Like I'm noticing I don't have enough room now for my O over here. So I might have to go back and, edit and switch things up. Even as a professional, I don't always get it right. Please, and take the time to fix it. I don't want you to say, well, good enough, close enough. Like I want you to really try to make sure that you are doing this rendering as accurately as possible. Okay, and so then I have my B kind of coming up over here. And then I'm noticing, oh, so now that I'm kind of paying more closer attention, my Cheerio O wasn't correct because it technically has to be touching that B. All right, so really just take your time and go slow. Picture all of the text and fonts as pictures themselves. Don't just look at it as a word we're simply going to write out. I really want you to try to recreate those different fonts because they're not all the same. I mean, this one is a little bit more round, and then like this has more of a not so much a script font, but it's a little more cursive-y. So I really want you to take the time to try to do this and do it lightly. As you can see, Miss Salatino even messed up. You're going to need to erase things, and paint luckily does cover up mistakes. The acrylic paint will hide, some of the mistakes and the pencil marks, but again, try to draw lightly. All right, when you are done with this, I want you to, this whole thing, I want to see not only a picture, I want to see it side by side, just like this. I want to see your references. I want to see your illustration boards side by side. Take a picture, upload it to Google Classroom, and then we will move on to creating your painting. All right, guys, I can't wait to see what you come up with, and I will talk to you soon.